Matt DiBenedetto lands a full-time ride in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Let's talk about it. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. Busy day. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. The NASCAR season begins in exactly 1 month with the LA Clash. And if the last few days are any indication, the ball is just rolling faster and faster. Every day, teams are making big announcements. Breaking news left and right. I don't know why I just did like the intentional grounding hand sign. Point is, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date on all things NASCAR. Well, today has been a busy day. I'm actually gonna break this into 2 episodes. We'll talk about Stewart-Haas Racing's announcement a little later this afternoon, because they also signed a top free agent today, but this video is going to focus on Matt DiBenedetto. Before we talk about DiBenedetto and his new NASCAR team though, let's briefly talk about Atlanta Motor Speedway testing. Today and yesterday, Ross Chastain, Chris Buescher, and Kurt Busch have made laps around the new and improved, I say that with a high degree of skepticism, the new Atlanta Motor Speedway configuration. It's been freshly repaved and they've increased the banking to 28 degrees, making it the steepest 1.5 miles on the NASCAR circuit. Driver spoke to the media. I saw this tweet from Doug Turnbull. Ross Chastain says this is his first Goodyear tire test and immediately mentions drafting and Superspeedway style. Says Buescher almost wrecked on the damn track this morning. It's a new Atlanta. It feels like Daytona, but you have to turn sharper. This is just a Goodyear tire test, but NASCAR is also expected to work with maybe some variant aero packages. They have not announced the Superspeedway package for next season, but they keep talking about Atlanta as though it's a Superspeedway like Daytona and Talladega. It's been pretty clear that this was their goal since last summer when they announced the new configuration. This is one of those situations where I'll wait until I see it in action. They had to repave the old track. It sucks. It was a beautiful, worn out surface that drivers loved, but the last couple of years they'd had actual red flags for parts of the track breaking during the race. Like, it needed to be repaved at some point. SMI taking another huge risk, reconfiguring one of their racetracks. We'll see if it pans out. I'm just happy that we got higher horsepower, low downforce at pretty much every other big oval, so if Atlanta looks kind of like a baby Superspeedway, maybe it'll be fun. Maybe it'll be okay. It's all about compromise these days if you're a NASCAR fan, but that's the latest out of Atlanta Motor Speedway. Hopefully there's more to talk about soon once the Goodyear tire test is completed. Second quick bit of news today, Front Row Motorsports announced a new crew chief for Michael McDowell, with Drew Blickensderfer leaving the team to work with Eric Almirola and Stewart-Haas. Blake Harris will be McDowell's crew chief this season. Harris has spent the last few years as the car chief for Martin Truex Jr., even going back to his Furniture Row days, so he was on that championship team in 2017. Means he's worked with some good people at Toyota, Joe Gibbs Racing, he's worked alongside Cole Pern. I think this is a good choice for Front Row Motorsports, even though he is technically going to be a rookie crew chief next year. This year, I keep forgetting what year it is. Anyway, just wanted to share that with y'all real quick. The big news story that I'm going to focus on in this video is Matt DiBenedetto. That's right, after many long and near silent months, he has a full-time NASCAR ride for 2022. It's not a Cup Series ride, it's not an Xfinity Series ride. Matt DiBenedetto will drive the Rackley War number 25 truck in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series.
All right, I held out on you guys long enough. 2022, ready to roll. It's gonna be fun. Doing some truck racing.
That's right, the 30-year-old driver will drive the number 25 truck next season, again, full-time. They put out a press release today. Team co-owner Curtis Sutton said, "We are honored to have Matt DiBenedetto join Rackley War full-time for the 2022 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series season, driving the number 25 Chevrolet. We feel that by teaming Matt up with experienced crew chief Chad Kendrick, we will be competing for multiple wins and be competitive at all racetracks. I truly believe that the NASCAR Truck Series is the most exciting, and I'm looking forward to getting the season started." Willie Allen, another owner of the team, said, "This will be our second year having an alliance with GMS Racing, and we're really appreciative of all they do for us. We will continue our manufacturer alliance with GM and Chevrolet, and we're super thankful for the resources they make available to us. This series is for sure the most competitive out there right now, and we are really fortunate to have excellent partners. We anticipate a big year as we look forward to our first win." Couple things to react to real quick there. Yes, this is a team that's technically aligned with GMS, a championship caliber truck series organization who's shrunk their operation down quite a bit from last year to this. They had 5 full-time trucks last year. This year, I believe they're only going to have 2 full-time drivers with veteran Grant Enfinger and younger driver Jack Wood. Is that good news for an affiliate team like the 25, or is that bad news? I have no idea, but this truck will be decent. Now, both owners are predicting, them being in contention for multiple wins. Willie Allen talking about getting their first win this season. Like, obviously this is a press release. This is a big announcement day. They're going to try and hype themselves up. Can't fault them for that at all. I mean, what's the point of showing up to the racetrack if you don't think you have at least a chance? But realistically speaking, unless that alliance with GMS is much tighter than it was last year, I don't think that 25 truck is truly going to be a race-winning truck. That's not to say they can't win. The truck series last season was kind of a mess at times. A lot of random, wild, wacky things happened. So anything can happen, especially at Superspeedways or some of the short tracks, which Matt DiBenedetto has proven to be good at, but it's unlikely. I don't expect this team to win multiple races next year, and at least early on, I don't really expect them to win any races next season. For reference, Josh Berry, proven Xfinity Series winner, drove this truck for 9 races last year, and he had an okay average finish of 16.6 in those starts, but his best finish was 11th. Didn't even crack the top 10 in that truck. I don't expect Matt DiBenedetto to do much better, again, unless that GMS alignment is much closer than in 2021. Matt DiBenedetto said this in a statement today: "I can honestly say that at this time in my career, I am truly excited. I feel like I'm going back to my roots in a lot of ways. I love the feeling you immediately get when you talk to Curtis, Willie, and Chad, all the guys around this organization. They're all hardcore racers and everyone is extremely dedicated. This opportunity is a blessing to me, and I'm really excited to do my part in taking this team to the next level." So here's the thing. Matt DiBenedetto has become a polarizing driver among NASCAR fans in the last year or so. 2.5 years ago, when he finished a close second to Denny Hamlin in the Bristol night race while driving a mid-pack Leavine family racing car, DiBenedetto became one of the most sympathetic drivers in the garage, one of the most beloved by large swaths of NASCAR fans. And to this day, he still is. He still has legions of supporters. All off-season long, one of the top questions I get in the comment section of my videos are, "Have you heard anything about Matt DiBenedetto? Where's he going? I really want my boy to have a ride next year." So he is still very, very popular. But over the course of the last year, he's done a number of things, I think, to rub certain portions of the NASCAR fan base the wrong way. I think in many ways beginning, you could say this goes back way earlier, but really beginning with the video he put out over the summer. He posted like a 10-minute long video to Facebook, the day the Wood brothers announced he would not return to the team next year. And while he did accept a lot of responsibility, saying that, yeah, the performance has not been where we want it to be this year, I think to many fans it came across as a somewhat desperate attempt to gain more sympathy from fans. Like, "Oh, can you believe the Wood brothers are letting me go? We're just figuring things out. I can't believe this team would drop me, right, guys?" I think that's how it came across. I know that's sort of how it came across to me when I watched it and reacted to it on this show, especially when we remember that when he initially signed with the Wood brothers, they had said it was only going to be a 2-year deal. So it's not like they were really changing the deal out from under him or something. It just felt like maybe a slightly tone-deaf video statement to be putting out there, and it definitely rubbed some of the people at the Wood brothers the wrong way. I remember they put out a statement saying like, "Hey, we've had this deal in place for a long time, like this isn't new." So I think beginning with that and then perhaps peaking with his lack of awareness at Phoenix. Remember Steve Phelps, president of NASCAR, had said that, hey, we're trying to get away from the "Let's Go Brandon" controversy, which we've talked about a lot in the last week. Literally the very next day, Matt DiBenedetto was featured in a video on social media saying, "Let's go Brandon." Whatever your opinion on that slogan is irrelevant. The point is the top executive at NASCAR said, "Hey, we're trying to distance ourselves from this." You can't go out and start saying it the very next day. It's a bad look. It showed a lack of awareness. And in NASCAR, a sport that's been so heavily dependent on corporate sponsorship for longer than I've been alive, awareness is a part of the driver's job. So I think all of that has played a role in it being difficult for him to find a full-time ride all off-season. His on-track performance obviously regressed this past year as well. We can't look past that. He went from being a playoff driver in 2020 to missing the playoffs in 2021. He is still winless across all 3 of NASCAR's top series. A combination of factors made Matty D look unappealing to most major teams. Enter Rackley War. I want to drive this home. Matt DiBenedetto absolutely deserves to race in NASCAR. He's not the best and most talented driver out there, and sure, his personality may be somewhat alienating. Remember that Keen Parts tweet from a few weeks ago? And sure, his awareness, especially on social media, is sometimes lacking, but ultimately NASCAR at its root is still a sport, a competition where the most talented and the most successful on the playing field, on the racetrack, should typically reap the most rewards. NASCAR is more complicated than that, as I just talked about, but Matt DiBenedetto has done some very impressive things on the racetrack. Going back to 2016, when he finished 6th at Bristol in a BK racing car. That's probably the first time most of us really heard of Matt DiBenedetto, like on the national stage. That still boggles the mind how he managed to accomplish that in that kind of car. Obviously, I mentioned the Bristol night race from a couple of years ago. You know, that whole year with Levine Family Racing, the first year that team was somewhat decent, and he managed a few top 10s, 7 top 10s. He had that breakout race at Bristol. He was not bad. And then in 2020, in his first year with a new team, Wood Brothers, and in a pandemic year where he had nearly no practice sessions to learn his crew chief, learn the new team, learn the new car, he made the playoffs. He did do that in 2020. I've been hard on Matt DiBenedetto, but I will give him credit. Making the playoffs in 2020 was a solid accomplishment. He missed the playoffs in 2021, obviously, and despite everything I've said, he is still winless across Truck, Xfinity, and Cup Series action. He won a few K&N East races back in the day when he was a teenager, so he's not incapable of winning races, but he has not done it at the top level. Look, I'm not arguing that he deserves to be with a top team, especially considering he doesn't seem to bring in really any sponsorship of his own, but he absolutely deserves a full-time ride with a mid-pack team in the Xfinity or the Truck Series. I said this a few weeks ago, and that's exactly what Rackley wore, exactly what that 25 truck is. It's a mid-pack truck that is capable of running top 10 on occasion, probably isn't capable of winning, but it's not garbage. It's not trash. Matt DiBenedetto will have chances to shine next season, and I think that's an okay situation. Use this as an opportunity to rebuild your stock a little, if you will. After the Bristol night race in 2019, Matt DiBenedetto was up here. Fans across the board were saying, hey, this guy, you put him in a championship caliber car, he might do something special. After 2020, I think his stock was still fairly high. He hadn't won, but at least he had made the playoffs. That was noteworthy, but 2021 took a step backwards. Couple that with those fairly minor off-track controversies, his stock's now down around here somewhere. Go to Rackley War, get out of the spotlight a little bit, shine here and there next season, and maybe that stock can go up. Maybe he still has a chance to land with a good Xfinity team, maybe lands in a top team's development system. He's only 30 years old. His career is far from over. You know, unlike other major sports where, like in basketball, a player's prime is probably like age 24, 25 to like 33. NASCAR drivers, I feel like your prime doesn't really start until your early 30s in most cases. So Matt DiBenedetto absolutely has many years of competitive racing ahead of him. I hope he uses this opportunity. I hope he makes the most of it. I think the 25 truck is a fair landing destination for him after the last year or so. But I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think this is a good fit for Matt DiBenedetto? Are you disappointed that he's not going to be in the Cup Series? Do you think Rackley War is too good of an opportunity? Are you that down on Matt DiBenedetto? Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. I look forward to seeing your responses. But that's going to do it for this episode. Be sure to hit that subscribe button again if you're new to the channel. We talk racing day in, day out. And as always, a huge thank you to my amazing Patreon supporters. I truly appreciate your support each and every month. Couldn't do the show without it. Today's a two-parter. I'll talk about Stewart-Haas Racing's big announcement here shortly, so keep an eye on your subscription feeds. You'll have more coming from me here very, very soon. Truly appreciate the support, y'all. Thanks for watching.